the icy expanse of the Arctic, where the sun barely pierces the relentless cold, a haunting scene unfolds. A polar bear, the majestic ruler of this frozen realm, lumbers across the stark white landscape. But this is no ordinary bear. It bears a gruesome wound, a grotesque testament to the harsh realities of survival in a world increasingly marred by human impact. The bear's once pristine fur is matted and stained, revealing a horrific barnacle infestation that clings to its flesh like a sinister second skin. As the camera zooms in, the viewer is confronted with a shocking sight: clusters of barnacles, their hard, calcified shells jutting out from the bear's skin, creating a nightmarish tableau of nature's brutality. Barnacles, those seemingly innocuous marine creatures, have found an unlikely host in this apex predator. Typically, they attach themselves to rocks, ships, and even whales, but in this case they have chosen the polar bear as their unwitting home. The infestation begins when barnacle larvae, microscopic and nearly invisible, latch onto the bear's skin, often in areas where the fur is thin or damaged. As they mature, these barnacles grow, their shells hardening and expanding, creating painful lesions that can lead to infection and suffering. The bear, once a symbol of strength and resilience, now bears the weight of this parasitic relationship, a living canvas of nature's darker side. The barnacles feast on the bear's skin, drawing nutrients and moisture, while the bear is left to endure the agony of their presence. Each barnacle can live for several years, and as they multiply, they create a grotesque colony that can severely impact the bear's health. The wounds become infected, attracting flies and other scavengers, further complicating the bear's plight. It is a brutal in the icy expanse of the Arctic, where the sun barely pierces the relentless cold. A polar bear roams, a majestic creature of the frozen wilderness. But today, this bear is not just a symbol of strength and survival. It is a living testament to the harsh realities of nature, bearing a horrific wound that tells a story of suffering and survival. As we draw closer, the sight is both shocking and grotesque. A barnacle infestation that has taken hold of its once pristine fur, transforming it into a grotesque canvas of nature's darker side. The barnacles, small crustaceans that typically cling to rocks and ships, have found an unlikely host in this magnificent beast, creating a grotesque spectacle that is as fascinating as it is disturbing. If you will, the polar bear, a creature that thrives in the harshest of environments, now burdened by a colony of barnacles that have latched onto its skin. These tiny, hard-shelled creatures, with their sharp edges and relentless grip, have invaded the bear's body, causing not just physical pain, but also a significant risk of infection. The barnacles, in their quest for survival, have created a wound that festers, a gaping hole in the bear's flesh that is both a breeding ground for bacteria and a source of immense suffering. The bear, once a symbol of power and grace, now limps through the snow, its movements hindered by the weight of its unwelcome guests. As we delve deeper into the biology of this infestation, we uncover the chilling reality of barnacle behavior. These creatures are not mere parasites. They are opportunists, seeking out any surface that offers them a chance to thrive. In the case of our polar bear, the barnacles have found a warm, moist environment beneath the thick fur, where they can anchor themselves and feed on the bear's skin and blood. This grotesque symbiosis is a stark reminder of the brutal laws of nature, where survival often comes at a cost. The barnacles, in their relentless pursuit of life, have turned the bear into a living host, a vessel for their own survival, while simultaneously jeopardizing the very life they cling to. The wound itself is a gruesome sight, a festering mass of inflamed tissue, and barnacle shells that protrude like jagged teeth from the bear's side. Each movement sends waves of pain through its body, a constant reminder of the toll that nature can exact. The bear's once pristine white fur is now matted and stained, a visual representation of its struggle. In the icy expanse of the Arctic, where the sun barely pierces the perpetual twilight, a solitary figure lumbers across the frozen landscape. This is not just any bear. It is a polar bear, a majestic creature that embodies the raw power and beauty of nature. But as we draw closer, the sight that greets us is not one of grace and strength. Instead, we are confronted with a horrific wound, a grotesque testament to the harsh realities of survival in this unforgiving environment. The bear's once pristine white fur is marred by a gruesome infestation of barnacles, their hard calcified shells clinging to its skin like a macabre necklace of suffering. This is not merely a physical ailment. It is a chilling reminder of the intricate and often brutal relationships that exist within the natural world. Barnacles, those seemingly innocuous crustaceans, are notorious for their ability to latch onto any surface they can find. In the case of our polar bear, these relentless invaders have found a host in the form of its thick, insulating blubber. The barnacles, with their sharp, serrated edges, burrow into the bear's skin, creating deep, festering wounds that ooze with infection. Each barnacle is a tiny fortress, a testament to nature's tenacity, but also a harbinger of pain and suffering for the bear. As they multiply, they create a grotesque landscape of white and gray, a stark contrast against the bear's fur, which is now stained with blood and pus. The bear's movements become labored, each step a reminder of the burden it carries, both physically and metaphorically. The infestation is not just a cosmetic issue, it poses a significant threat to the bear's health. The barnacles feed on the bear's flesh, drawing vital nutrients from its body, weakening it further. In a world where every calorie counts, this parasitic relationship can be devastating. The bear, once a formidable predator, now struggles to hunt, its energy sapped by the relentless assault of its barnacle companions. In a sun-drenched corner of the African savanna, a sight unfolds that is both captivating and horrifying. A cheetah cub, with soft fur and wide, inquisitive eyes, lies motionless under the dappled shade of an acacia tree. But this seemingly innocent scene conceals a ghastly secret. As the camera zooms in, a painful reality is revealed, an explosion of wild, writhing bee activity that has laid siege to the back of this vulnerable creature. The cub's cries, a mixture of fear and confusion, blend into the surrounding sounds of nature. But this is no ordinary day in the life of a young predator. This adorable hunter has encountered a nightmare in the form of a relentless bee infestation. Gone are the playful antics of the cub stalking imaginary prey. Instead, we witness an unfortunate encounter with a beehive, its fragile structure now a source of torment. Bees are typically remarkable for their role in pollination and maintaining ecological balance, but in this grim narrative, they've become harbingers of anguish. Each bee, with its stinger ready to strike, finds itself drawn to the scent of the cub, mistaking its vulnerability for the allure of a floral bouquet. The sting of one bee can elicit a mere yelp, but when hundreds converge, inflicting bites relentlessly on the tender skin, the pain escalates to a horrific level. The hive itself, a masterful structure of wax and honey, is teeming with activity as worker bees defend their territory against what they perceive as an intruder. The cub, bewildered and overwhelmed, is ensnared in a swirling chaos of fury and instinct. Each invasion releases venom, not only creating intense localized pain, but potentially leading to anaphylaxis, a life-threatening reaction that can swiftly engulf even the most resilient creatures. The bee stings create a tapestry of inflammation, their venom coursing through the cub's delicate body, prompting an all-out biological war between the natural defenses of the cub and the incapacitating power of the hive. As we watch this unfolding drama, it's also worth noting the repercussions of such an infestation. The epicenter of the attack, once a thriving hive, now thrives on the very essence of life it seeks to protect. This paradox of nature reveals a striking balance, akin to a macabre dance where survival holds no inherent bias. While the cheetah may have been an unwitting intruder, the hive's response is unsparing. Our young protagonist, caught in this web of stings and rushes of adrenaline, finds itself implicated in the quiet stillness of a sun-drenched pasture. A chilling sight unfolds. A horse, majestic yet marred, stands trembling. Its flank is a grotesque canvas, a horrific wound resembling a gaping maw, oozing and festering. This is no ordinary injury. It is the aftermath of a bee infestation, a dark tale of nature's fury unleashed upon an unsuspecting creature. As we delve deeper into this unsettling narrative, prepare yourself for a journey that intertwines the beauty of the natural world with its more sinister aspects. The horse, a symbol of grace and strength, has become a victim of a relentless swarm. These, often celebrated for their role in pollination and honey production, can also turn into a nightmarish plague when their hives are disturbed. In this case, the horse inadvertently wandered too close to a hidden hive, provoking a defensive response from the colony. The result, a barrage of stings that penetrated the skin, leading to a gruesome wound that is now a breeding ground for infection. The sight is enough to make even the most stoic observer recoil in horror. The flesh around the wound is swollen and discolored, a vivid reminder of the pain inflicted by hundreds of tiny, venomous barbs. As we examine the wound more closely, we see the telltale signs of necrosis, where the tissue has begun to die, a consequence of the body's desperate fight against the venom. The buzzing of the bees. Once again, in the heart of the African savanna, where the sun blazes down and the air shimmers with heat, a creature of unparalleled beauty prowls the landscape. The leopard, with its sleek body and mesmerizing rosettes, is a symbol of grace and power. But today, we delve into a darker tale, one that reveals the hidden horrors lurking beneath its stunning exterior. Imagine, if you will, a leopard, once the epitome of strength, now marred by a grotesque barnacle wound. This is not just a simple injury. It is a gateway into a world of parasitic infestation that will make your skin crawl. As we zoom in on this unfortunate feline, the barnacle wound stands out like a grotesque badge of suffering. The barnacle, a crustacean that typically clings to rocks and ships, has found an unlikely host in this majestic predator. It has burrowed into the leopard's skin, creating a gaping, festering sore that oozes a foul-smelling discharge. The sight is enough to turn the stomach of even the most seasoned wildlife observer. This barnacle, a mere hitchhiker in the grand scheme of nature, has turned the leopard's body into a battleground, a site of infection and decay. But how did this happen? The answer lies in the complex web of life that connects all creatures on this planet. Parasites, like the barnacle, are opportunistic organisms that thrive on the misfortunes of others. They latch onto their hosts, feeding off their blood, nutrients, and ultimately their vitality. In the case of our leopard, the barnacle has not only caused physical harm, but has also opened the door to a host of secondary infections. Bacteria, fungi, and other parasites are quick to take advantage of the weakened state of the leopard